do not use until further notice. That's not good for Dr. Anderson because he drinks too much coffee. How's it going? Dr. Kersey here. I got an email from Ben. You know Ben with the beard Ben. I love Ben. Ben is awesome. And he asked if I would preach in chapel, and I love preaching in chapel, so I am going to head to Corban and preach in chapel. Come along for a ride, guys. But let's see what is going on in here. A lot of empty hallways. The classroom kind of reminds me of a Les Mis song. Do not use until further notice. That's not good for Dr. Anderson because he drinks too much coffee. And so empty hallways, sort of weird. So life really is a combination of a couple things. One is things you can control, and then there's things that you cannot control. And when those things come together, that is life. And we tend to believe that we can control a lot more things than is really true, right? And so this is one of the reasons why this is so troubling, because there's something out of our control. It's out of scientists' control. It's out of the politicians' control. And when those things, we become fixated on those things, that's when the anxiety and all of that stuff comes together, and it's really hard for us to think about anything else. But the Bible gives us a great antidote to anxiety and worry, and that is hope. And hope is a virtue that we don't talk a lot about in Christianity, but it's really powerful, right? Because if anxiety and worry is believing the worst is going to happen, hope is choosing to believe that God's best is going to happen. And it always doesn't appear to us as reality, right? Because a lot of times we think that, it's going to be the worst. And we hear these worst case scenarios constantly all around us. And it makes us really anxious and it makes us nervous. But we do have a choice, right? And we can believe that God's best is going to happen. And one of I think a really powerful passage is Psalm 124, where it says, "If it had not been the Lord who was on our side, let Israel now say, if it had not been the Lord who was on our side when the people rose up against us, then they would have swallowed us up alive, when their anger was kindled against us, when the flood would have swept us away, the torrents would have gone over us, then over us would have gone the raging waters. Blessed be the Lord, who has not given us as prey to their teeth. We have escaped like a bird from the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken, and we have escaped. Our help is in the name of the Lord, who has made heaven and earth." And when you look at that, I think there's a couple really encouraging things. One is that last verse where it says that our help is in the name of the Lord, because we get confused sometimes and we start to think that our help is in a lot of other things, right? Like it's in our doctor. Our doctors can cure everything. Science is curing everything, right? But all of a sudden there's something that seems to be beyond them. I'm not saying, doctors and science is bad. Science is awesome. Doctors are awesome. But we want to think that they have a lot more control than they really do, right? And at the end of the day, our help isn't in anything that is controllable, but it is in this mysterious, powerful God who we don't understand, and we have to give things over to him. And also that he is the creator of heaven and earth. So he's the creator of all of these things, right? And another cool thing to realize in this is that I like the fact that this verse or this psalm is a psalm of ascent. And the Psalms of Ascent were sort of songs that the Israelites would sing as they marched up towards Jerusalem in these pilgrimages, right? And so they had these songs that they sang all the time, kind of like we have our favorite songs to listen to when we're on road trips. And so this is a song that reminded them that there was a goal that they had, right? Like we're all moving towards a certain direction. That's another really important part of hope, is that you have to focus on the things that you can control. And a lot of times those are just the little things, washing your hands maybe, right? Doing your homework, says the professor. And so maybe when you see all of those things just spiraling out of control, you see those graphs and those numbers that are just so huge, focus on the goal that you have in front of you. But those are ways of building the hope, is like those things that are controllable, those things that are your goals. And another, I think, really powerful thing is when you look at that passage and you see the us and the them, right? The them is the enemy. Maybe it's a little microbe that is trying to invade our bodies and our culture and all those sorts of things, right? And so that is the us or the them, right? This powerful little tiny thing that can, bring economies to a screeching halt. But that is the them, but then there is a us there, right? This is the group of you and your friends and your family and the students and the faculty here at Corban. And hope is also focusing on the group of people around you. Or maybe they're not physically close to you, but fortunately through technology, they're fairly close, right? Like we can still reach out and we can talk to each other, we can see each other, and that is super cool. And so hope, right? Like that is what we need. And so again, I would say, focus on this God who is in control. He created everything. It's not out of his control. Focus on the goals that you have, if it's just getting through this class or just reading the next chapter, right? Just focus on that. And that that gives you something tangible that you can actually do. And then focus on the group of people around you. And at Corban, it is so awesome to be able to see people through Zoom, just through Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and reaching out to them and encouraging them, right? It is so powerful just to send a text, to email a picture or something and saying, hey, we're thinking of you. I'm going to post this is a song that a dad and daughter did together, and it has like, 3.5 million views or something. But it's super powerful, and I want you to listen to this as a prayer and maybe make it your prayer of just God getting us through this time. And we're going to get through it. We're going to get to the other side, and everything is going to look different. Education's going to look different. The economy's going to look different. You're going to look different, right? Maybe you haven't had that good haircut, and it's going to be this really weird thing. But we're going to get through it. And we're going to enter into a new normal, and we are going to thrive because we are people who are entrepreneurial. We are people who are going to take advantage of the changes, and we're going to make them work for us, right? And so pray for the people around you. Just take this time to pray and maybe see a face that you recognize and pray for them. And so anyway, thanks for attending this virtual chapel, and we will stay in touch. So God bless.
Here we go, and help us to be wise. times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe.
I pray we'll find your love.
I pray we'll find your love
And hold it in our hearts.
and hold it in our hearts.
When stars go out each night.
When stars go out each night,
Remind us where you are. Let this be our prayer.
let this be our prayer.
When shadows fill our day.
When shadows fill our day,
Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe. A world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch you, reaching to the sky. We ask that life be kind and watch us from above.
watch us from above.
We hope each soul will find another soul to love. Let this be our prayer, just like every child.
Just like every child
Needs to find a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be safe. Needs to find a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be safe.